and the 1600 at the state meet up north. But first, Tarek Fatal, breaking news.
It's not that serious, but yeah, you know, longtime city section news. E.B. Mata, a longtime boys soccer coach at Birmingham, I got a scoop today that he had been let go. So 23 years at the helm, 5 city section championships, and you know, I would say Birmingham the last handful of years specifically has been, you know, the keeper of the city title, them and El Camino Real. And so you've always had to go through E.B. Mata. He's no longer at Birmingham.
Yeah, they won the championship this year. All right, let's turn our attention to track, and we'll get to Sadie in a moment. Let's start, though, with Roderick Pleasant, Mr. 100 and Mr. 200. Mr. Superman, he wins the 100 and the 200, just a tad over 10 seconds in the 100 meters. Unbelievable.
Roderick Pleasant, I tell you what, there are certain things that somewhat move the needle, so to speak, in high school sports, right? It's football, basketball, and baseball. Softball certainly does, but the one thing in track and field is, man, who's the fastest? And Roderick Pleasant is more than fast. He's really fast, and he's set some records at the state final and did it in the 100.
He's not the only fast guy. Dejon Stanley at Granada Hills, the great football track star, won an event. He helped out with the relay team that won and scored many, many points. And Granada Hills boys, first city section team to win the state title since 2005. Then it was Dorsey, but it was Stanley being the man.
Yeah, he's the anchor. He won the 400. He came, I believe, second in the 200 behind Roderick Pleasant and was outstanding. They won the 4x1 relay, and they came in third in the 4x4. So this guy competed in 4 events at the state level and anchored the Granada Hills Highlanders to a state championship.
And the girls' sprint team from Carson won a state championship. Congratulations to the Colts, at least getting the sprint relay championship. They did win the team title. How about Nia Clayton, a great star at Oaks Christian? She wins the 100 meters, and she did it in a rapid pace, 11 seconds and 44 tenths.
Another one. Everyone wants to know who's the fastest. Her arch nemesis was, I believe, a young lady from Carson as well. And
yeah, Rain Redmond.
That's right, Rain Redmond, and Nia Clayton got her.
Yeah, and Redmond got injured, unfortunately, but Redmond did anchor the sprint relay championship. That takes us to Sadie Engelhardt. She's going to be our guest. But we got to make a comment about Sadie before. Wins the double, the 800 and the 1600. That is not easy to do. She's out of Ventura High School, and she's a 10th grader. She's 16 years old.
Well, I remember she bursted onto the scene as a freshman. Like, who is this? Who is this young lady? You know, just killing everyone on the track, and it's no surprise she's a 2-time state champion, so excited to speak with her.
Let's find out. Sadie, welcome to the program. Congratulations. And who is Sadie Engelhardt? What do we want to know about you? Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, I'm a distance runner. I run at Ventura High School. I think I specialize mostly in the mile, but I like to run anything from 800 to 3200. And I also like to do the 4x4 with my team.
Why do you believe you're so advanced at such a tender age and just a 10th grader to accomplish the 800 and the 1600? It's a marvelous accomplishment. It's not easy to do. It's been done, but it's been years. Why are you so good at this stage?
Yeah, I think I had a lot of practice last year. I wasn't as successful last year with that double. I think, yeah, I was the runner-up in the 800. So just to have that experience for sure was definitely just, under my belt and helped me a lot this year. And I think my training pretty much geared me for kind of getting my revenge in that 800. So yeah, I think that combination of things helped me get there.
How have you been dealing with the attention? Everyone learned about you as a freshman. And, when someone already knows about you and you're accomplishing great things, and then there's a little bit of pressure to kind of do it again, and you did even better and faster, and you still got 2 more years of high school. You're doing TV with us tonight. How have you been dealing with the media attention?
Yeah, honestly, I'm a huge fan of it. I think I kind of like that pressure. My competitive side pretty much stemmed from soccer. Which is a super team, as a sport. And so kind of when it went to track and it got more individual and individualized attention, I think I just, thrived under that. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of the media. Obviously it can get a little much with, some people that are just hating just to hate, but I try to keep that out of my view and out of my mind.
In Clovis, you were adored by the fans. What was it like to get that appreciation? I think you got a standing ovation when you crossed the finish line. Tell us what went through your mind when you saw that kind of reaction to your achievement.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, everyone in Clovis at the state meet knows pretty much everything about track in that stadium. And so when they see something special, they definitely, give all their attention to it. And it was awesome. Yeah, it was definitely a highlight of my season for sure.
The events you run, long distance, as you mentioned you specialize in the mile. Not saying that there's no mental aspect to a guy like Roderick Pleasant or Nia Clayton running 100 meters, but it's rapidly pretty fast. For you, there's really more mental, right? Running and keeping pace and dealing with competition. How is it you focus on yourself despite so many other elements for however long you run?
Yeah, I try to set specific goals for each of the laps that I do. So, for example, in the 800, the first lap, I could just keep repeating this mantra to myself of, get out, keep your position, just things like that. And then the second lap, just close hard, stay strong, you're fit enough to do this. Like things like that definitely help me. And I've just kind of developed that, mantra mindset where I just repeat what I want to be doing.
I understand you got your bags packed. You're going to be traveling a little bit and have some national meets. So what's in front of you? What's in front of you, Sadie?
Yeah, I'm going to Portland. I'm actually leaving tomorrow on a plane to go there, and I have a race on Sunday, and it's a professional meet, which I'm very excited about because obviously competition is just crazy. It's awesome. And then after that, I'm going to Brooks PR to run the 2 mile. And then I'm getting on a plane to go to Philadelphia from there, from Seattle, where Brooks PR is. And then, so I'm going to Philadelphia and running another mile. So it should be very fun.
When you talk about, this is my last question for you, Sadie. When you talk about competing against pros, you just told us you're 16 years old, you're a sophomore in high school. I'm not saying you're not going there to win, but man, that is a tall task to put you with professionals. What is the mindset? Is it a litmus test for you to see where you stack up against pros? Are you thinking in your mind, man, forget that, I'm going to win that thing? Talk about your approach with a big event like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome to see, women that I've watched on YouTube and just fangirl over, to see on the line next to me. It's crazy. So yeah, like in a race like that, I usually am going for a great time. And then, if a win comes with that, I'm usually not in the first heat just because those pros are crazy. I mean, they're all crazy, but I'm kind of in, the second heat usually. So yeah, if I have, the chance to win, that would be awesome. But definitely gearing towards a fast time this weekend.
What's your ultimate goal in track and field?
I want to leave a mark. I think my biggest goal every season is just to take down those world records for my age group. And then, I just really want to be known in the sport and, make myself proud. I think I'm a very ambitious person, so I want to achieve every goal out there.
Well, you're off to a running start, and congratulations. And we appreciate it. Sorry about the pun. I just couldn't resist. You're a very charming young lady, very mature, obviously, and really congratulations to a tremendous start to not only your prep career, but your running career.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for having me.
You have.
Of course.
No problem. You can see she's so mature.
2 more years of it. We got 2 more years of it.
No, the rest of the section has 2 more years.
Yeah,
You're going to have to try to deal with it.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
That's not going to be easy. And again, she set records in the 800 and the 1600, and she's going to be a load for years to come,
Yes,
and she's going to be a name that we're going to watch. And I would think we're going to keep her number because they're going to probably bring her back next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she'll be phenomenal. Well, we're going to take a little bit of a break. We're going to get into baseball. We're going to meet Ray Rivera, the hero of the Sylmar Spartans baseball team. He was the guy that engineered a championship. We'll see if he saw it coming. But let's step out and hear from our buddies at Pacific Surfliner.
California has always been a land of discovery. From historic gems to iconic beaches to top attractions. Let the Amtrak Pacific Surfliner be part of your journey as you explore more of the place we call home. Reconnect with the communities you love most, with the people you love most. Isn't it time you rediscovered Southern California?
City baseball championships in the two highest divisions at Dodger Stadium. So let's start with the highest level. That's the open division in the city. Birmingham wins another championship. They've been doing it almost on a yearly basis. The only thing that stopped them really has been the pandemic. And last year, Chatsworth got them in the championship. But the Patriots under Coach Morey have been absolutely astounding. They seem to find a way to win. And they got to Dodger Stadium again and won 3-1 over a young Carson Colts team.
I do think it's dynasty talk. They've been to 5 open finals in the past 6 seasons, and they've won 4 of them. So Birmingham certainly, again, the team to beat. And they got some guys coming back next year. It'll be challenging.
Caden on the mound was terrific in the game.
Caden Take going to Cal. And usually when someone like that is pitching at Dodger Stadium, you got a good chance. Everyone was looking at each other like, wait a minute. You know, Carson took a 1-0 lead, but Birmingham took care of business.
I love Noah Gomez, the center fielder of Carson. He's short but talented. He led the game off with a double. They stranded him in there, but this kid's a young talent. And when you look at the Colts, to me, they have to be the favorite next year. You know, they didn't start a senior in the game.
You know, I didn't know that, but now that you put it like that, there's certainly going to be one to watch. Of course, the West Valley League is always the toughest league, in my opinion. There always seems to be a West Valley team, or at least a Valley team, winning the city title at Dodger Stadium. But Carson, maybe it's their year next year.
It was Sylmar's year this year, 1-0, but not an easy game against their neighbors from Kennedy of Granada Hills. Really a well-pitched, well-played game. It was a D1 game, but it had the feel of an open game at Dodger Stadium.
It did. I could tell you, I can't think of the numbers off the top of my head, but I know that D1 final set an attendance record at Dodger Stadium, according to the city section.
6,500.
There you go. 6,500 came out, and that beat the game before the game last year. I want to say it was like Banning and Garfield and Narbonne, and it broke that attendance record. So it just goes to show you the communities how excited they were for this game. And Sylmar ended up coming out with a walk-off hit from Victor Carrera.
Yeah, Carrera's reaction going up the first baseline when he got the hit. He knew he'd won the game, and he was pumped.
I remember talking to him after the game, and he said that Coach Rivera specifically told him, hey, man, there's nobody better to be at the plate right now. And such a simple message, but it meant everything. Carrera goes up with the confidence, drives in the winning run, and they win the title.
A couple other division games in the city that were played. These were not played at Dodger Stadium. D2 had Southgate over Franklin. Southgate was the #1 ranked team. They win the game by 1 run, but it took 9 innings.
Sometimes games take that. I covered a 17-inning game this year between Westlake and another team. I can't think of who it is right now. But, it was South Torrance. Unbelievable games.
How about Chavez over Sun Valley Magnet, 13-3. The Eagles in 4 playoff games, Tarek. 53 runs, all 4 games in double figures.
When the bats are hot, the bats are hot.
So we congratulate Chavez on their victory. We got to congratulate Ray Rivera. The job he did this year with Sylmar. You know, we were talking before the Kennedy game, and we're going to meet Ray in a moment. And you said, I'm picking Sylmar in the game over Kennedy. And they said, well, Kennedy's got the tradition. You said Sylmar's got Ray Rivera. Why do you like his coaching so much?
I just think there are certain, for me, and I've kind of shared this with Ray, this was maybe last year, I think there are times, and Eric Sondheimer from the LA Times is kind of like this too. There's so much stuff to cover, and sometimes a program like Sylmar or these other programs, they kind of fall through the cracks, and you can't keep tabs on them as much as you want to, and there's a good program over there, but you got Harvard Westlake and Notre Dame and Crespi and the Marmoni League, and it just goes on in a Trinity League, and there's so much good baseball. But then you get these programs and these coaches that are out there doing it for the right reasons, and Ray Rivera is one of those coaches.
All right, let's speak with Ray Rivera. He's a very patient man, and he's exercised patience at Sylmar's been there many years. Ray, congratulations on the championship. How much were you able to bask in the glory at Dodger Stadium after you finally had the accomplishment, the first title since 1980?
Yeah, it was a great moment to see all the people that were there to, take it all in with us. And, you know, it was kind of funny. The game ends, and I don't know if anybody noticed, but I run to well, I don't run, but I'm on the third base line, and my assistant coach comes out, and he's standing next to me. He's wanting to celebrate with me, and I just kind of glanced and looked at him and looked back at the kids because I wanted to take that in more, you know, more than anything else. And yeah, it was fun.
Ray, talk about that conversation. I alluded to it a little bit, but that conversation with Victor Carrera, I know you told him, you know, best guy at the plate, but why did you think about what you were going to tell him? Did you maybe want to tell him more, but then thought, you know what, I'm going to keep this pretty simple? Talk about maybe what you were thinking before you told him what you did at the big at-bat.
Well, we've been known as a team that likes to bunt. I thought in that situation we may go squeeze there. I know it was bases loaded, you know, but it's not, you know, there's no secret. I mean, we'll bunt, we'll squeeze with bases loaded, second and third. It doesn't matter. And he's one of those guys who I know can handle the bat, but at the same time, you have Andy over there at Kennedy, and you know Kennedy knows us really well, and they know our tendencies a little bit. We play against him every year, and in that situation, I said, you know what, let's just let him swing it, and you know he's fast, so I wasn't necessarily concerned with him getting doubled up. He had 29 stolen bases on the year, 30 stolen bases, so I just knew that if he were to get the ball on the ground, that we were going to be okay. Infield was drawn in, but there was really not much of a thought. It was because earlier in the year, he actually beat them as well at Kennedy in an extra inning game, similar situation, base hit to the right side. So all the confidence in the world in the kid.
You got a great pitch game from Matt Benzor. He was terrific. Talk a little bit about him going into that game and his approach at Dodger Stadium.
You know, that his performance was a little bit overlooked, I think. Obviously you have Vic coming up clutch with the big hit, and Captain what was it, Captain Clutch or Mr. Clutch he was called in one of the tweets. Yeah. But Matthew Benzor, his performance, man, to go out there, and I think he gave up 4 or 5 hits and 6 or 7 punch outs. Battled out of a couple jams, and I actually talked to him. I said, you know what? I never went out to the mound to talk to you. I never got my opportunity to stand on the mound again at Dodger Stadium. And he's like, you know what, Coach? I thought you were going to come out and say something a couple times, during, a couple of those rough situations. I said, no, well, there was really no reason for me to go out. You were in total control. And his performance, like I said, is a bit overlooked, but for me, him going out there and doing what he did, clutch situation for him there, and he got it done.
Might be a hard question to answer. You've won a city title as a player, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now you've won one as a coach. Which one's sweeter?
I think this one as a coach, just because I've spent a lot of time doing this. I've had a lot of kids come through the program, and the message has always been the same for us, just in terms of us trying to guide these guys along, and give them we use baseball to teach life lessons. But it's been a long time. And as a player, I won it in my 10th grade year, and that was my first year of high school. And there wasn't much of a wait there. But for this one, it took some time, and, all this time I wouldn't trade anything for it. I learned a lot, and I've made, a lot of great friends, now, 20 years of coaching, and, some of these alumni are good friends of mine now. And, for them to be able to witness it, and a lot of them were telling me, you know what, Coach, this means, so much to us as well, because we feel like we're part of this as well. This is our win. So, that's, this one means a lot more, I think.
Last question. What was the ride home like to Sylmar with that group, knowing that you had accomplished the ultimate and got a
You want to know the truth about that?
And Dodger Stadium. Yeah, I want the truth, obviously. We're in the media.
So the truth about that bus ride, So the truth about that bus ride is all the kids stayed behind to watch game 2, and it was me, my assistant coach Palma, and our bat boy. We were the only ones on the bus ride home. But you know what? I want to give a shout out to my assistant coach Palma and my JV coach, Coach Schwartz. Those guys, man, the work that they put in. Again, people don't necessarily give them the credit that they deserve. I want to make sure that they get recognized, and people give them a lot of credit, because they make my life a lot easier. And without them, none of this would be possible either. So,
Ray, congratulations! Tremendous job.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys for having me on, and I hope to do it again soon.
All right, you take care.
Love it. Yeah. Awesome, man. I'm telling you, there's.
You really like him.
No, I do. I like Ray. He knows it. I mean, we were texting over the weekend because one of the things, kind of like I have my breakfast burrito reviews. We were talking off air a little bit. He's a master on the grill and with his smoker. So he always posts on his Twitter what he's got going on the grill. So I was following up with him on what he had on the grill for Victory Weekend.
Speaking of food, got to talk about Dodger Stadium food. Good segue for me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
I went off on the hot dogs and the peanuts. I thought it was pretty good. The hot dogs aren't as good as they used to be.
They're
not Farmer John anymore.
I wouldn't even it would be kind of disrespectful to compare them to what they used to be. They are not what they used to be, period.
We'll probably never get let into a Dodger game again. All right, let's talk about some of these state regional games. And
sure.
By the way, next week's going to be our final program, and we're going to get into the ultimate games, because the championships in the different divisions are going to be determined on Saturday. But let's start with Santa Margarita. They won in their game today. Rancho Bernardo was their opponent in the D1. And Santa Margarita is the #1 team in the highest division, which is D1 in the Open, in the regional. And they're looking really good out of the Trinity League.
That, I believe, was the Division I runner-up. That's who Jay Serra beat in extra innings in Long Beach at Blair Field. So, Jay Serra bowed out and said, we're going to opt out of the regional. So it's Santa Margarita's Division I regional final to win, I think. And so they'll get a chance to do that on Saturday.
Santana over Crespi, and I know you followed the Celts. Huh?
A little bit of a shocker.
That shocks you, huh?
Yeah. Well, they had to travel. That
3-1 was the score.
Santee is where Santana's from. They had to come to Encino. So, Crespi got beat on their home field. I feel like that's a little bit of a shocker. They were the #1 seed in Division II.
What about Calabasas winning over South Hills?
Well, that's like a revenge win. So South Hills knocked out Calabasas in the Division II sectional semifinal, and now here's Calabasas getting some revenge, and they will travel to South Hills. No, sorry, who are they playing? Calabasas is playing.
It gets confusing at this point.
Yeah, I can't think of who they're playing, but they're on the road on Saturday.
Castaic, let's move to D5. Sure. That's your ball club. You love those guys. They knock off Fillmore from Ventura County 9-1.
Castaic, it's a great story. And by the way, Calabasas is playing Santana, who we just got done talking about, beat Crespi.
I knew you put the puzzle together.
But Division V Castaic, going to be... going to be a great story. They're going to play Ganesha, who won the Division 7 sectional. So we got Division 6 CIF champion versus Division 7 CIF champion. And one more last add, Division 3 Westlake from the Marmani League in Division 3 regional final. They're going to travel to Bakersfield Christian.
Quick comment on Crean Lutheran over Sage Creek.
I saw Crean Lutheran play in the final at Blair Field. I believe they're the Division 4 champion. And so I didn't get a chance to watch them much. I know they got some good pitching. They got a good chance.
All right, some scores from the quarterfinals. So I'm going to back off because some of these are surprising to me. La Costa Canyon, which is going to play for the championship against Santa Margarita. So they've advanced all the way. But in the first round of the state, they knocked off Notre Dame Sherman Oaks.
Another shocker because, I just think everyone thought Notre Dame would get a second wind. People don't remember Notre Dame got bounced in the quarterfinal and then received an invitation to the regional finals because other teams were bowing out and opting out. So Notre Dame got a second wind and I think was the best team in the bracket, but they had a bad day. I'm
going to link these next three together because it's really the city section going out in the state regional. Calabasas over Birmingham, that score was 3-1. Jordan pitched a great game there. Jordan Kingston, yeah. Canyon Anaheim over Sylmar. Didn't want to bring it up to Ray Rivera. He's out of the state tournament. J.P. Sova, a shutout. Westlake over Palisades, 4-0. There was the junior right-hander Andrew Haberman pitching the shutout. So the city, after the great moments, winning championships, the last teams to qualify for the regionals get knocked out quickly.
It's hard. I think when you're not there every year, it's hard to... Birmingham is. I'm a little surprised. They probably should have had a better chance. But it seemed like Sylmar, for example, the high is Dodger Stadium. So it's kind of like, whew, we did it. And then you got to, get back up for more games. It's difficult when you're not used to that stuff.
Softball, we got to give Oaks Christian
Yes,
a
yes,
shout
we
out.
do.
They beat Moore Park in the first game in the state regional, 10-4. They're back in the finals now after knocking off Rancho Bernardo today,
8-0.
8-0. Coyle's done a really nice job there coaching them.
Not only has she done a great job, but Oaks Christian is in their second regional final in a row, the Division I level. They will be on the road to Poway. And so that'll be a tough little job. That's not exactly around the corner, but Oaks Christian's up for the task. Riley McCoy is an outstanding player, and Justine Lambert is another good player to mention.
Mike Boley called me this week. He was just chatting volleyball. He's the coach at Loyola, and he was in a great mood. Actually, he watched our Pacific Surfliner Chatsworth Championship match, and he wanted to say, hey, it was fun to watch as Chatsworth beat Palisades. But he has now won the regional championship, and his player, who's a tremendous player, Sean Kelly, was the CIF Player of the Year, along with Luca Kersey of Newport Harbor. But the big story here to me is Loyola, by winning the regional, they swept through the Newport Harbors of the world and all the top teams, Corona Del Mar. They're going to win the national championship now, even though they didn't win the CIF championship during the playoffs, but by going into the regional and beating Newport Harbor 2 out of 3, they're going to win the national title.
Listen, when it comes to boys volleyball, Loyola is one of the powerhouse programs, and I don't see why they couldn't go all the way.
29-2 for Mike Boley's team, so they are to be congratulated. A couple guys, well, one's a lady, so it's just a generic term. Lori Chandler and Fluke Fluker are going to retire from El Camino Real High School. They've been coaches for many years, both of them. They've been administrators. Lori Chandler now is a big-time official in the city section, officiates a lot of the basketball championship games, but she was great as a softball and baseball coach. Fluke was a big basketball guy and had the best name in the sports, Fluke Fluker.
El Camino Real, man, I don't know. It's a great career for those two. That's all fine and dandy. There's a lot of things changing at El Camino Real, and I'll just leave it at that.
You know, things have changed, too, because I would never have imagined that we'd have a reporter at Dodger Stadium doing a report back for his newspaper, get kicked out of the press box, from there go to the parking lot to finish the story, and gets rejected there as well. What is wrong with you? They kick you out of Dodger Stadium.
Chavez Ravine isn't quite as lax as it used to be, Randy. Yeah, they kind of, you know, the Open Division final game, Birmingham wins. We always think we got about an hour left to finish up our stories and our work. We get up to the press box, Eric Sondheimer and I from the Times, a couple other reporters, and they're like, sorry, you guys got to go. We didn't kick up much of it. They're like, okay, fine, we can finish up our stuff in the car. So we're in the car, and yeah, we got kicked out of Dodger Stadium's parking lot, too.
You didn't say anything to the guys, did you?
Yeah, I gave him a little attitude.
Give him some lip,
one guy was nicer than another. One guy was kind of just like, yeah, man, wrap it up. Like, come on, get out of here. Then I didn't like that, so I gave him a piece of my mind there. But then the other gentleman just communicated like a human. Hey, hey, man, we're trying to clear the lot. The weekend's here. You mind? Yeah, no problem, man. Thank you for communicating like a real person.
Other than the regional baseball finals, it's all over
yes,
for high school sports this year. So we're going to come back next week. We're going to have a little year in review.
Woo.
But we will give you some details on the finals of all those divisions in baseball. So, Tarek, it was fun this year, but we got one more show to go.
One more show. They say in Hollywood when something comes to an end, they have what's called a wrap party. I don't know.
Larry?
Are you from?
Gio, are we going to have a wrap party at LA 36?
I know you're familiar with the term, but that's kind of what we'll do next week. We'll not only wrap up the year, but just kind of, hey, another year under the belt.
One last story. The best wrap party I've ever been to. I was fortunate enough to work on a few Olympics for NBC Sports. One of them was in Barcelona, Spain in 1992. In a bull ring was where our wrap party was.
Whoa. Pretty cool.
I was safe. No bull.
Dusty.
There was no bull. No
Sounds
bull.
like your feet got a little dirty.
Yeah, it was nerve-wracking, and I had to go to the airport and leave, but I couldn't stay for the whole thing. For Tarek, I'm Randy. Remember, one big show next week. We're going to go an hour from 9 to 10 next week. So until then, for Gio and Larry, who are perhaps organizing a wrap party, we'll talk to you next week, live at 9, right here on SoCal Prep Report. Good night, everybody.
Can't wait to start working on my golf game, man.
You got kicked out of Dodger Stadium.
Is here, baby.
You got kicked out of Dodger Stadium for crying out loud. Nobody gets kicked
Playing
out
tomorrow,
of Dodger
Henson Dam, 9:50 tee time.
Really?
I'm ready.
Can you hit it 300 yards?
Not 300, but I can get it. I can get it
Really?
going 270 for sure.
What's your handicap?
About 11.